Roy, after the game Saturday, Kenny said, other than the turnovers, that's exactly how you guys want to play. Would you agree with that? And
turnovers were silly. I mean, yeah, you can't make turnovers like that, but you know, the rebounding numbers are a little weird. I mean, you know, because we didn't miss many shots. It's hard to get offensive rebounds when you don't miss shots, and they missed a lot of shots. But still, I like it to be better than a, what was it, 39-33, something like that, 6 margin. But again, you have to look at the other stuff to really get the true picture of it. Yeah, the careless, the silly, the selfish turnovers, we got to get rid of those kind of things. Yeah.
Coach, on Saturday you said you hadn't talked about Duke yet to the team. How much have you guys talked about Duke since then?
I haven't seen my team since Saturday, so the answer is 0. I mean, seriously, I went to, got in a car, drove to Charlotte to watch Danny in the 3-point contest. Got a chance to visit with him. Reggie was there. Got a chance to visit with Reggie Bullock. Some other guys, a former player from Kansas, was in charge of security, so I had a little bit better pass than some of the other guys did. Don't write that; he'll get in trouble with NBA, you know, that kind of thing. But so he's the one to help me get up with Danny before the 3-point contest started. After that, had a very unusual night, but ended up at a hotel and got a room. That's what it was, guys. Went to my son's house. He had no electricity, so I didn't stay there. Went to a hotel, talked our way into getting a room. Yesterday morning, got up and drove to the mountains. Wanda's dad, tomorrow's his 95th birthday, so we had a birthday party last night. I got in the car this morning and drove back here and got here at 1 o'clock today. So I went in and introduced myself to a couple of guys, but they remembered me, you know, so I think we're okay.
Coach, you've obviously been a part of a lot of Carolina Duke rivalries over the years. Do you have a different feeling now, maybe than you did when you first came back to Carolina, you know, over, what, 15 years ago now? Is it still mean the same to you? Does it still feel the same going into the game, or are the emotions any different?
You know, the first couple of years as an assistant, you know, it wasn't like it is now for sure, but after that, I mean, and when Mike got there, they started being really, really successful. So my feelings has been the same for 28 to 30 years, something like that. Anyway, it's just a tremendous rivalry, 2 really great programs with great history, 10 miles apart, which makes it a little unusual, as I said earlier today. But no, for the last, you know, I don't know, pick a number, 25 to 30 years, it's been the same for me. Very flattered to be part of it, very small part of it, but flattered to be involved in it. I don't have to say too much to get our guys fired up. I'm not trying to do too many motivational things that I do a lot of times to try to make sure we're ready to play. But we got an unbelievable challenge in front of us this Wednesday night.
Piggybacking off that question, Coach, does this year's rivalry feel like it has a different dynamic to it, especially with all of the hoopla that has been put on Duke, you know, on a national stage, Zion and their whole recruiting class? Does it feel like there's a different dynamic this year?
You know, they've been pretty good for a long time. I mean, you know, Wendell Carter, Marvin Bagley, those guys, they were all pretty good too. But Zion's a different bird. There's no question about that. We tried to recruit him very, very hard. He's got a combination of skill set that I've never seen before. And there is a lot of attention, but he deserves it. I mean, he's backed it up. I mean, he's been pretty good. And so from that point, it may be a little bit, maybe a little bit more, but it's still Duke of North Carolina. And very seldom that I think I've seen any team that people will think probably has, you know, 3 of the top 4 or 5 picks off of one team. You know, so it's up there in the stratosphere, but it's still Duke and North Carolina also. It's pretty high all the time.
How important is Garrison in this game, especially defensively, given their strength inside?
Well, you know, he's been important to us all year. I mean, thinking back, because I haven't even seen the tape from Saturday's game. I really haven't, and not that I haven't been laying on the beach or anything like that. But in the game, Cam made 7 threes, and I can remember 3 plays just like that Garrison screens are the guy that got him open. So those are the kind of things that people don't see. But the defensive play, he's extremely important to us. He cannot get in foul trouble if we want to be successful. He's graded out probably more consistently than anybody else on our team on the defensive end of the floor. He rebounds it. He's not a guy that we look to score a lot, but no, he's important to us. And this challenge, I mean, be honest, I mean, this challenge that we face is different from what we faced all year. And I said today somebody took exception of it. In a lot of ways, this is the most gifted Duke team I've seen in 16 years I've been back. And I don't think there's, like I said, I don't think it's hard to even say those kind of things.
Sterling going to be back?
No.
What is greater challenge, keeping Zion from getting the ball, or once he gets the ball and trying to deal with that?
Well, everybody's easier to guard if they don't have the ball. And so that's something you try to focus on at the start. But, guys, he's got a unique set that's hard to – everybody's tried to keep him from getting the ball. And last time I looked, he's still shooting 180% from the floor. So we're going to try to do the same things a lot of those other guys have done. But because if you don't let him pass it to him, he goes and gets it off the board. And if he doesn't do that, they take it out and throw it to him on the break, and or take it out of bounds and throw it to him, and he goes down. But he's off the charts athletically, explosively, the charisma that he has, the personality he has. He's off the chart. But RJ's pretty good. Cam Reddish is pretty good. Trey Jones, Mike calls him the most valuable player that he has. I mean, it's a unique team, but I think it starts with the big guy. But if you try to stop him, everybody else is going to beat you 99-1 anyway.
Was there anything that surprised you other than his explosiveness on film, particularly Zion?
No. I saw him more than anybody.
I know you watched him in high school, but of course their high school game translates differently in college, so I'm wondering.
Well, a little bit, but if you jump to 11-8 against high school kids, you probably jump 11-8 against NBA guys too. If you're that explosive, it's just that you beat people by a more narrow margin, but you still beat them. I mean, I'm serious, and I'm not. I loved him. I don't like him because he chose not to come here or something. I don't like about him. But his game has transferred. I mean, seriously, is this her stat sheet? They haven't played St. Mary's Sisters 68.3, so, I hope I can figure out what all those other guys haven't figured out. So his game is unique. It's name somebody else that's got that skill set that he has. Because in college game, I've never seen it. And everybody said, well, what about LeBron? Listen to what I said. LeBron never played in college. But I've never seen anything like that.
Do you have to have a talk or a message to the freshmen in particular? Do you let the older guys, going into a game in Cameron?
I really don't say too much to them about their preparation. I mean, they got eyes and ears. They see what's going on and listen to the things and watch ESPN and how many times they're on ESPN and all that. So, I really don't. We're just trying to figure out ways to maybe be able to play them a little better. To see if we can change a few things that might allow us to play them a little better. Gonzaga figured out a way to play them a little better. Syracuse figured out a way to play them a little better. And both those teams scored a lot of points. So I think you've got to be able to continue scoring against their defense, because their defense is really good. Trey's as good as anybody in the country on the ball defense out front. They block more shots. Are they still leading the nation? They're leading the nation in block shots. So it's just not Zion Williamson dunk show. I mean, they guard you on both ends. They're unselfish. They're pretty good.
Asking that question, I guess, a different way.
Okay.
Is there any advantage or lack of disadvantage to having three guys, seniors, who a couple of them have been in there 4 times or 3 times and know what this is going to be like?
Oh, they're going to be fired up. But, guys, I've never lost to that building. Those guys in the short pants, but they are getting shorter. Okay, those are the guys that makes that building really good. Those guys come in there and put their fingers about half an inch away from my face. That's been the least of my concern. When they throw the daggum ball up, Marvin Bagley gets it 2 feet over the rim and dunks it, and Wendell Carter blocks your shot on the other end. Those kind of things. But
What was it like recruiting Zion? Anything that stood out, or any insight you can provide on that?
Just a great kid. I loved him to death. Great kid, great family, big-time dreams, nothing negative whatsoever.
A lot of questions about Zion, but R.J. Barrett, awfully good player.
Oh, that's what I said. We can't just keep our eye on Superman.
What are some of the things that are particularly challenging about dealing with him?
He's a 6'6" perimeter player who can take it to the basket, can jump over, you can go right or left. He's got the Euro step, he can do all those things. And again, guys, I saw one thing the other day that they threw Zion out of the conversation, and so they had RJ as the number 1 player in the draft. But all those are predictions. But we get to see what they do on the court, and RJ's been fantastic on the court. And Cam Reddish, I mean, he made the first 3 that got him going when we were down 23 at Louisville, and then he made the 2 free throws to end it up. Trey, I love his game and what he does. And the guy coaching him, every now and then he makes a good decision too. He's pretty good.
Hi, Coach. I'm from China, and a lot of Chinese basketball fans are really into college basketball. They're really into that rivalry between UNC and Duke. So I just want to know, how would you describe such kind of rivalry between those 2 universities? If you got to choose one word to best describe this rivalry, what would that be?
Ooh, one word. No, I don't want to use that word. On the court, let me just give you one. It is vicious because you have 2 teams going at each other as hard as they can go, and they want to win. It's a healthy. I've never really thought there was anything dirty or anything, but it is out there. It's a vicious contest, and I really believe that. But no, it's. Again, part of it is the 10 miles apart, being that close to proximity, and how we both believe in so many of the same things. But the rivalry's been around for a long time. You've got families. One goes to Duke, the other goes to North Carolina. So it's pretty well ingrained for a long period of time. But if I think of a better word later, I'll let you know. But vicious, and again, that's not meant to be anything on the dirty side. I'm not saying. It's just that you better be ready.
There was a report that President Obama might come to the game. What are your thoughts on what you all have talked to him on plenty occasions? What does he mean?
Well, I love him, but if he's coming to the game, I'm sorry, Mr. President, but I'm not going to be looking at you. Okay, and I do love him. I thought he was great for our country. But during that game, it's frankly, my dear, and you can fill out the rest. But no, there's always a lot of people that come to the games, that big names, and Peyton Manning used to come to the game. And may still because of his relationship with Coach Cutcliffe. But no, there's a lot of people that didn't Donald Trump come one time?
05, yeah.
Yeah, he came in 05.
05, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Still, never
He
mind.
wasn't that far from the bench either.
Great.
Yeah, he was down on our end. Yeah.
Coach, with all the talk about...
I'm still not inviting him.
With all the talk about RJ and Zion, can that fuel your guys a little bit and say, hey, what about us, that sort of thing?
It can, but they've sort of backed it up. Everybody in the league got tired of talking about Tyler Hansbrough for 4 years. They thought he was in school 27 years. But he backed it up, so there's not a lot you can say. And we've got an opportunity to go over there and see how we stand up. And hopefully we'll stand up really well and make it a really good game. But it's, again, I'll say I think it's the most gifted Duke team since I've been back.
In terms of Trey's defense, how rare is it to find a really good freshman defender, and is it becoming less common?
Sort of 2 different questions. How rare is it? You don't see it very often, so it's never been common, so I don't know if now it's less common or not. But some guys, Tommy Amaker, I thought as a freshman he was really good defensively, but Mike may not have thought he was good at all. But no, he does sort of set the standard. Marcus Smart, we tried to recruit Marcus, and I thought defensively he was as good as any perimeter player I'd ever seen. And so they come and go.
Coach Cameron had another great game against Wake, 27 points. Has this transfer happened kind of worked out better than you thought? Because it seems he's had such an incredible season. Did you expect anything like this from him when he, committed to y'all a year ago?
Well, sort of 2 ways to answer it. I saw him get 5 or 6 against us, so I thought he's pretty good. One of them was right in front of me. So I thought he was going to be pretty good. He's far exceeded anyone's expectations as a member of our university, member of our student body. He's just he's just an unbelievable kid, and everybody that he touches talks about how kind and gracious and everything he is. So that part has just been off the charts. And for us to, well, we haven't had many grad transfers, but the people in his academic program love him and a whole bit like that. This year he's been healthier than he's ever been, and I think that's helped his play as well. I still want him to get a lot better defensively, but you know, he made 7 threes, and I ran 2 straight plays for him to see if he could get his 8th and tie the school record. I said, that's all it's up to you, big fella, you're out of here now. But just a great kid who's had us so far, has had a very good year.
Roy, I'm doing something on the summer pickup games that Carolina and Duke guys would play, like 80 to 84 range. Is that something, if your guys today, this summer, we're going over to Duke to play pickup with some of their new guys, is that even something that you would approve of, you would allow to happen?
You know, I like guys that play. You know, I don't care where they play. I think we have the best games here, so I think we'd be better off staying here and playing with all our guys. I mean, if you do something like that on the grand scale, the word gets out and then it loses its meaning of just playing ball. And I like it when kids just play ball. I was here in the gym last year one day with 4 different kids from 4 different ACC schools were here playing pickup. And I had no problem with it and liked it. But I think if you get a group together and then somebody's going to talk, and then all of a sudden it gets to be more than just playing pickup.
We had Chris Jenkins play pickup in the summer of '16. So.
Yeah. After he beat our butts. Okay. They called me and asked me if it was okay, and I said, yeah, just tell him I don't like him. Anybody else, guys?